This podcast is for a mature audience and may be viewed as inappropriate or insensitive to some. Listener discretion is advised. The intention is to share conversation of like and unlike-minded individuals as they try to be the best them they can be in a life full of challenges, searching for love, acceptance, and positivity. Call 669-241-1422 and share yourself or catch up with SweetBaby Jay for an anonymous face-to-face interview. Feel free to call in with questions, stories, thoughts, or anything you would love to talk about and share. Nothing is off the table when talking sweet with SweetBaby Jay at 669-241-1422.
Sip, sip.
Yeah, I like to wet my throat. Ladies and gentlemen, gents and ladies, once again, it's a no-face, no-case scenario here on Talkin Sweet. I am actually sitting across from this very lovely young lady, wearing all these prints, looking all exotic. I like it, I must say. Red, one of my favorite colors. Young lady, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Young lady, am I older than you or younger than you?
Sweetie, we are. It's a no-face, no-case scenario. Do you care to share your name?
Maybe later.
Ooh, maybe later. Okay, cool. I like that. Well, do you care to share your age?
Yes, I am 42 and I'll be 43 very, very soon.
Well, then I'm older than you, okay?
Okay.
Respect your elders over here,
I
young
shall
lady.
respect my elders.
43 ain't never looked so sexy, ladies and gents. I'm going to let you know when 42 is looking real good from where I'm at.
Thank you, thank you.
There you go. So, how's everything with you?
Things are well.
Things are well?
Life is well.
Life is well.
Mm-hmm.
You make it look good.
Thank you.
Well-
Trying. I'm doing, not trying, I'm doing.
You're doing, right? To try is to fail. You might as well do it if you're going to do it.
That's right.
There you go. Are you a mother or are you married? Things, hey, let's talk about it.
I'm all that. I am married and I am a mother.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 sons.
Wow. 2 sons. And I'm going to let you guys know this is a black woman sitting across from me. Do you mind when people say black or African American? Is there a difference for you?
Not necessarily. I don't identify with black woman or African American. I mostly identify with Jamaican American, but it's all the same depending on whatever people want to call me. That's fine.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're from JA all the way.
Well, I'm first generation American. The family's from Jamaica. So I'm a Yankee, but yes.
Listen, I am descendants of Jamaica from Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know all about it. I know all
Yes.
about it. There you go.
Caribbean household.
Living here in Orlando, I find it very difficult to find that Caribbean culture. How is it for you? How long have you been here?
I have been in Orlando now, since 2006, so it's been a while. I still have not found that community. I know people here and there, but that community, I don't have it here.
I really think that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
As huge as a place Orlando is, and to not be able to find, I am so tired of going to Bob Marley's. I love it, but I am tired of going to Bob
I've
Marley's.
been there a couple of times. It's nice, it's fine, but it's not for the true people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a tourist spot.
Exactly, 100%. Nice spot, Bob Marley's. I love you guys, but damn, we need more. So you're a Jamaican, first-generation American. Jamaican.
Yes.
And you're also a mom of 2 sons.
Yes, 2 boys.
How old are they?
My eldest is 8 and my youngest is 5.
Oh, wow, you got youngins.
Oh, yeah, I started late. Everyone my age, they're grandmothers or grandmas. They're sending their kids away to college or preparing for their senior year, and here I am dealing with a kindergartner and a 3rd grader.
You didn't start late. You started exactly when you were supposed to.
I know, that's so true, so true. That is true.
Yep. These past 4 years have been a crazy one.
Yes.
We have one COVID actively taking place right now. We also have had a president that didn't seem like he really showed much love for the darker persuasion. Mm-hmm. How did you feel just being as a mom and having to send your kids out into the world, wherever they're at, and knowing that the president, this stuff is coming from the top?
Now, when it comes to Donald, I just call him Donald. I know he's the president.
Donald.
I call him Donald.
You make him sound like your crazy neighbor.
I call him Donald because I had a personal relationship with Donald. There was a time where Donald was in my life, and to talk about Donald Trump was like a big thing to wow everybody. Now it's just, oh gosh, he's the president, great. So I have my own opinions about Donald and what I see up there on the TV. But when it comes to being a mother and raising sons, yes, it's on my mind constantly. I'm raising 2 black boys. And I know what it was like growing up in America, growing up in the States, being a Black American or a Black, Caribbean American, and constantly having to regulate myself, just growing up differently. And I think about the fact that I do have Black boys and the things that they have to face that are different just because they are Black boys, or one day will be men.
They will be men.
Yes.
So you seem like the type that's going to make sure they are good products of society.
Yes, they have a good understanding of life, of race, of different things already, because I explain those things to them, because it does affect them.
Even at this young age,
At this young age, absolutely.
You feel it necessary?
Absolutely.
Huh.
My eldest has locks. He loves his locks. There might be a day where he might have to cut off his locks, or it might be challenged, or it might be frowned upon. So he needs to understand that. He does gymnastics. He's in a predominantly white team in a white area. And, and there's certain things that I do educate him on. So he has understanding. He needs to know his background. He needs to know other people's background. He needs to know how he can operate in this world.
I recall seeing a YouTube video of a wrestler that they wouldn't let him wrestle. Mm-hmm. They actually said he had to cut his dreads before he had his match, mm-hmm. and they cut his dreads.
Yes.
That broke my heart to see that.
I remember that.
How do you feel that you would handle such a thing if that was your child?
Looking at it, you have your opinions. I really had to dig deep and find some research and just really understand. And to my knowledge, from what I understood, it was his decision.
Oh.
From what I understood, it was his decision, and his parents were okay with that. Again, I would support my child however my child would want to do it. If he wanted to cut his hair, if he was okay with that, and that's something that he truly wanted to do, then that's fine. I will support my child.
I have to say, if it was his decision, I respect a young man making big man choices on the spot and it being the right one.
Yes, for him. Yes.
Exactly, for him. You got to respect that. Each situation is different, and all you can do is respect what's taking place there.
Yes, there's sometimes, it might be looked upon as if it was forced, and there might be other situations where, I've explained to my son, these might be the rules. This is what it is. Maybe you don't fit in those parameters. Maybe what you're trying to do is outside of those. You have to decide whether or not it's worth it, whether or not you want to compromise yourself, or whether or not this is more important than maybe something that you did believe or you did not believe. It doesn't matter, but I do my very best to educate my sons so they can make the right decision for themselves, and whatever it is, I'll support them.
Have you, and this is a crazy question, but have you taught them, educated them on interacting with police?
Yes.
See, and it's strange because I don't think all races have to do that.
No. And
an unfortunate reality that we live where others may say, why don't you let it go? Why is this still an issue? All lives matter, but if all lives matter, why is it that we have to have these conversations but others don't?
Yes, I have to have those conversations with my sons. Growing up, there were certain conversations that my mom did have with me when it came to the police and how to act and just certain things. You don't want to trigger them, not like how it is now. But yeah, I do talk to my sons about it. It has affected me firsthand. I saw firsthand the way the police treated my husband for a taillight being out. I saw firsthand, and then it really hit me like, wow, like I'm married to a Black man, and I have 2 Black sons, and this is the thing that I have to experience. Something so small growing up turned into something big. That's what really opened up my eyes, and this was soon after the Sandra Bland incident.
It's ridiculous. I got to revert back to what you said. How did you know the Donald? How?
Well, once upon a lifetime ago, because, we live many lives in our lifetime.
Oh, yes, I do know this.
I did live down in Palm Beach, and I was working for a prominent orchestra. I was their director of education and outreach, and we did a lot of events, a lot of donated events, a lot of charity things, a lot of cocktail parties where we solicited different donations, and we had a cocktail party. We had a few at Mar-a-Lago. Oh. And so I knew the Donald from that. He remembered me when I would come in and do my thing with the orchestra. He remembered me because prior to that, a few years ago, my very first job, I worked at a movie theater, and I was a concessionist. And this was when Donald was with Marla, and he would rent out the entire theater and come and bring Marla, and he would order a large bottled water and a large air pop popcorn and he would open up goobers and pour goobers all in his air pop popcorn. So I have my little history with Donald. I knew him then. I was his favorite concessionist because he liked how I just served him, I guess. I made sure everything was nice and clean and neat. And then years later, when he saw me from this little lowly concessionist to now, oh, she's working for this prominent orchestra. Look at her all dressed up. I had my time with Donald. But now, he's just...
Wow.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think he's racist. Do you think he is?
I know that Donald likes black women.
Oh.
So,
Wait, do tell. The way you said that.
There's no do tell nothing. There's no do tell nothing.
Like, no, period, point blank. The story stops there.
No, there's no do tell nothing. Donald's nice. I'm not that type of person. But I know that Donald likes black women.
Oh, really?
And that's all that I can say about that. So whether he's racist, whether it's an insecurity compared to black men, because I know a lot of white men that are like that, maybe, but I don't know. But from what I see, yeah. From what I see, the country, the uproar, and the enticing and the things that he's allowed, okay, that's you. That's fine.
Oh, okay. I see you.
Yeah.
So you talk about raising your sons.
Yes.
And then you talk about the experience that you saw with your husband.
Yes.
How you guys you and your husband are together?
We're together.
Okay. How is that? How does your husband interact with his sons? Is there a difference for what a mom teaches to what a dad teaches?
I'm sure. When it comes to my son's interaction with their father, they have their own relationship. My husband struggles with being a father and really cleaving to that because of just issues that he's had with his own father. But I'm the one that talks to them about certain things, and I know that he does talk to them about their thing, and but I don't pry too much. I let them do their stuff, and whatever comes my way, whatever he shares, whatever the boys share. But I'm the one that makes sure things get done or things are said.
So I'm a father as well of two daughters. My wife I have to give all praise to her. She makes sure that those messages, even when I say it, is just something about how she does it. The role of a mother is just God sent.
It is.
There's nothing on earth that can replace the role of a mother.
It is, but don't think that what you don't say, it reinforces. It makes a difference. It really does. Because I can say something to the boys, and sometimes it might sound like want, want, want. But as soon as my husband says it or reiterates it, it sets a different tone. It has a little bit more meaning. Just because I'm the one that's always doing the talking.
So it's good to have the two voices there in their ears.
It is good, yes.
Okay, yes. I like that, and that is definitely the truth. Your husband, how is there an age difference between you guys? How is that?
Yes, it's fine.
Well,
it's fine. It's 10 years. It's fine.
Oh, wait a minute. You're 10 years. You're 10 years older. He's 10
years older than him.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yes, baby. Well, that's not something that you hear often. I think usually it's the male that's older. How did you come up on this situation?
He just caught my attention.
Oh.
And he was able to keep it for a while.
Oh, snap. There you go. There you go. So is there a difference when a female is the older one in the relationship? You hear men are like a few years older than a female. When the male is much older, he's viewed as, oh, look at this guy, he's a perv or whatever the case may be. But when the female is the older one, is there a difference? Are you seen different when you guys are together? How is that?
Not really. I think when we're together, people don't see that there's a 10-year age difference, so I don't think we get that. As far as me and my experience with it, I feel like one, especially back in the day with the movie How Stella Got a Groove Back,
Oh, snap, in
certain,
Jamaica.
Yeah, it's certain, certain things are perceived like, why would I be with someone so young? What am I using him for? All sorts of stuff. So
Really?
that was something initially, just because I think the movie had just come out maybe a few years prior to that, because this was like 15 years ago. We've been together for a while. And so I've had to deal with that. But I think the main thing for me in my particular situation is just the expectations. Because you're older, you're expected to be a certain thing or act a certain way or you're expected to be something. And so for me, that was not really a big struggle, but after a while it became a struggle.
Why?
Just because for a long time I think we stopped listening to what God said to us and what we needed to do for ourselves, because our relationship was always unconventional. And then being in the church and being embedded in that community, trying to do things the way others thought we should do things or the way we thought it was perceived to do things. So, yeah.
So did he ever struggle with being with an older woman? Or do you feel that he did?
Yes. I feel that he struggles with his insecurity and his ego, absolutely.
Why do you feel that there's a struggle? Or has he expressed this to you?
He has expressed this to me. It's just...
So, like, what are the issues that he's expressed?
Just personal, you have your own personal issues. That gets to a point where you have to be whole. You have to be comfortable with yourself. You have to be authentic. You have to show up as yourself, no matter where you are, no matter who you're dealing with. And you can't people please. If you people please everyone, then who are you truly pleasing? You're not pleasing God. You're certainly not pleasing yourself.
Exactly.
Everything can't catch your attention. So it's just life. It's growing pains.
When he's come to you saying, I have these issues, I have these struggles, how do you respond to that?
Oh, well, let's see. It's been 15 years.
Been married just as long as me.
Okay, so at the beginning, it wasn't anything that he shared. It was things that I picked up on, that I sensed, that I would try to speak to, but you're dealing with somebody in denial. And so you're dealing with somebody in denial, and you're trying to speak to that person because, you're supposed to be a helpmate. You see this person is struggling, or you're trying to, whatever. Mm-hmm. So you're trying, but they're in denial. So after a while, you go through that motion. And then when they are ready to speak, and they are ready to talk, I don't want to hear that mess no more. I don't want to talk to you. I don't care what's going on with you. So I dealt with that. It's done. It's done. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And now it's like, I hear you and I see you.
As in, you see the struggle, you hear the struggle?
I see the struggle, I hear the struggle. It's not about me. Sometimes in marriage, or sometimes just in general, people are always concerned about the other person, if they're going to meet their standards, this, that, da-da-da-da-da. Sometimes people, they're not prepared. They don't prepare themselves to be a wife. They don't prepare themselves to be a husband. They don't prepare themselves for all the other things that come along with that. And so after a while, I started to hear him and see him. He's not my possession. He's not what I want him or need him to be. He's who he is. And if he's my husband and I love him and I respect him, then I have to show that. So many times we say honor and respect. We don't know what honor and respect is. I didn't know what honor and respect was 10 years ago. I barely knew what it was 3 years ago. I honor and respect him now.
Oh.
But it took me a while, but I thought I was honoring and respecting him.
The growth process.
It's a growth thing. So it's not an easy question when you ask me something, because there's all these different.
Well, I've been married going on 12 years. We've been together about 15. Mm-hmm. And it's been a journey. Mm-hmm. Anyone that knows me knows that I can be quite the asshole at times. Mm-hmm. And it is tough when you're dealing with someone else, especially when you're dealing with someone else of a different culture, mm-hmm. and there are different expectations. Is he Jamaican as well?
He's Jamaican-American like myself.
Okay. So there are differences when people come from different backgrounds, different age. Whenever there's a difference, there's always going to be that difference, because unless you marry somebody that grew up in the same house as you, there are going to be differences.
Yes.
And when you bring those two differences and try to intertwine them, there are challenges that we need to overcome. Mm-hmm. Not everyone can overcome them.
Yes.
Everyone is in such a rush to be married. But people are not always willing to do what it takes to stay married.
No, it's not. No, they're not. No. I've wanted to throw in the towel, I don't know how many times.
So what made you not?
Because I knew I'd be running away. Why? Because I'm not getting my way. Because he's not doing what I want him to do. Because I'm not feeling heard. What? I knew I'd be running away. Now, we've had our struggles.
Has he ever expressed that he wanted to run away, or has he ever ran away, or?
We both expressed it. We both expressed not wanting to be with one another, wanting a divorce, not wanting to live with one another. We both expressed it out of frustration.
How do you handle when someone says they don't want to live with you, they want to be divorced? Like, how did you handle that? What was your response to those type of, not just that feeling, but also those statements?
After a while, okay, I'm going to call your bluff.
Oh. And how did you call that bluff?
Okay. So I left.
Oh, damn.
I moved.
I had to move this pillow and get comfortable. Hold
You
on.
can get comfortable.
Oh,
We don't live together.
So you currently, you and your husband don't live together?
No.
Okay. And you're currently married and don't live together?
Yes.
And you guys, you got to feel me. You can't just give me that. Tell me more, please, as it drizzles on us.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys live at different in the same area?
Same area, different location.
And are you seeing other people and married? Is he seeing other people and married? How does this work?
It's a space that we're navigating in.
Oh, does that space include seeing other people?
I don't know about him.
Oh, sweeties, do tell. What about you?
What about me?
Are you seeing other people?
I have people.
Oh, snap.
I have a rotation. Still point guard.
Oh, snap. Ain't nothing stopping this train.
At all.
It's moving.
That's right.
I am not mad at it at all. Wow. I cannot say that I'm mad at it at all. That's what's up.
I love it.
You love it.
I love it.
Wow.
Love it.
So, married and dating?
Married and dating.
Oh my gosh. The topic just changed. We went from the Donald to tending to raising strong black men in America to married and dating.
Yes.
How is that?
It's lovely. It's different. It's new. I never really dated. I would, maybe go out on 1 or 2 dates with people. Friends would set me up with them, in my early 20s, but I was always focused on working. I worked and I helped my mom take care of my siblings, so that was it. So I never really dated too much. So this is the first time in my life where I'm really dating.
How is it?
It's interesting. It's different. I don't know. I don't want to say it's different. It's just, it's interesting. And I'm finding the same, I don't want to say problems or issues, but I stopped dating for a reason, or did not really pursue dating, and I'm finding kind of the same reason why I really don't really care for it too much.
So the grass is not greener on the other side?
The grass is always greener where you water it.
Oh, snap. She dropping jewels.
Yes, that's it's where you water it.
So what you're saying is where you take care of the grass is where the grass is most beautiful.
Absolutely. So right now, my grass is beautiful underneath me, just me. I'm taking care of myself. I grew up basically taking care of other people, taking care of my siblings, taking care of my mom, taking care of my friends, taking care of my husband, my children. And I had a home daycare for almost 10 years. So all of that, taking care of other people. So this is the first time in my life where I'm really focused on me. I don't have to consider anybody else.
How does that feel?
Feels lovely. When you've grown up, having to watch the way you walk, talk, everything, it's lovely. I'm experiencing a new level of freedom. Just free from what society says I should be, free from what my family or friends say I should be, free from the constraints that I put on myself of how I should be, or even just what a 42-year-old woman should look like.
I
Just
see.
embracing,
I see what a 42-year-old woman should look like, girl. You better stop it.
So I'm just really enjoying this part of my life. I'm expanding.
Do you bring it to the attention of the guys that you date that you are married?
Yes, because they can see my ring.
Oh, there you go. Hey, I see it.
And I let them know.
I don't wear a wedding ring.
Yeah, my husband never wore a wedding ring.
Why did he never wear a wedding ring?
Because I never really got him one that fit. And he's a piano player, so he doesn't care for it.
Oh.
He's not a big jewelry person.
That's my thing. I'm not a big jewelry person. I bought a wedding ring. We bought a wedding ring. It cost quite a bit, but when I was boxing, I ended up either losing it or somebody stole it. I don't know. I'm just not a jewelry person, but I'm blessed to have a wife that's very understanding to that fact that I hate jewelry. She doesn't even wear her ring. I don't care. Rings don't stop people.
No, it does not.
It doesn't stop someone from talking to somebody with a ring.
That's right.
And it doesn't stop the person wearing the ring from doing what they want to do.
That's right.
Because people going to do what they want to do.
Yes, they do.
Look at you. You're like, psh, and I'm doing it. So how is that when you're dating? Do you and your husband have relations?
What kind of relations?
Oh, look. I'm asking those questions. Do you guys have intimate relationship?
We have intimacy on a different level now.
Not physical?
Not physical.
Okay. And he knows that you're dating?
I don't know.
You don't even care. Shh. Cold. And I like it.
I'll never keep anything from my husband. If he wants to know, he can ask. Is this something that I'm freely offering up? Not necessarily. I don't know whether or not he can handle it.
Ooh.
But it doesn't matter.
Oh, my God.
It doesn't matter.
See, this is the thing. A lot of men are not able to handle that truth. Where women often have to handle that truth that their husband have been someplace else. Some women don't handle it, but a lot do. You're married and dating. I've heard of this, and you're not hiding it.
No.
If you are, because you did say that you guys live in the same area, is it ever possible that you might be someplace having a drink with someone else and your husband, or has it ever happened and your husband walked in and like, hey, what's up?
No, we don't roll in the same circles like that. You have to understand something about me. For a long time, I fit into everyone else's world. I shrunk myself. I even shrunk myself in my marriage. So no, when it comes to the places I go and the things that I do, my husband, he doesn't do those things. So if we ever cross paths, that'll be a rarity, but I don't roll the same places as I used to.
Listen, I am looking at this young lady, the way she says this, the emphasis, you are really about living your best life.
I am. Like, I'm grateful for this time. Like, when people talk about living their best life, I didn't understand what that was. When people talked about living their authentic life, I didn't understand what that was. When people talked about freedom, I didn't understand what that was. I get it now. I moved out of my own way. I started focusing on myself, my needs, the things that God said to me. And I stopped operating from fear. I started operating from love. And once I started loving myself better, taking care of myself better, I was better for my husband, better for my kids.
So would you agree that in order to even step into a relationship, first you need to love yourself?
Absolutely. It's okay if two people are broken, if two people are looking for love and they want to build with one another. It's okay, but you can't expect the other person to fill that void. But people can be broken and people can come together. Yes, absolutely. But I think it is important that you are whole because you just know what makes you tick, what doesn't, you know? And you can stand up for yourself and you can advocate for yourself.
What made you want to get married?
I don't think I ever wanted to get married. I think it was an idea. You know, some girls, the idea. I don't think I ever really wanted to get married. The idea of getting married was there. And I've had plenty of people ask me to get married. I was engaged. I was with this one gentleman from the time I was 15 to 20. I've always had long-term relationships. I never really wanted to get married because I didn't think that I could be a wife, or I felt like I would be constricted in some sort of way. But when it came to my husband, I wanted to be his wife.
You never wanted to be married, but with your husband, you wanted to be his wife. What was the difference?
My husband saw me, and I could be myself around him. And he didn't expect anything from me but just me.
That's beautiful. And at the same time, that too had its challenges. And he saw you, but then there was that conflict in which you guys saw each other and said, you know what? We need to see each other in different places. What brought that about? How did it get here?
Children change the dynamic of a relationship.
Gosh, damn it, you said it, girl.
And so I got tired of going between two worlds, me and my husband and me and my sons, me and my husband and me and my sons. After a while, I got tired. We're supposed to be a family. I don't expect a whole lot, but we're supposed to be a family. And then I'm raising two boys, and I had a home daycare, and they're seeing parents, and they're seeing dads, and they're seeing what active dads do. You know, and we were very much involved in the church. My husband's a musician, and so we were there. And I taught preschool and Sunday school and all sorts of stuff. So we're seeing what musicians do with their little men, their little guys, and all sorts of stuff. And the children changed the dynamic of the relationship, and it was something that not everybody got on board with fully. It changes things. It doesn't change the fact that we're still husband and wife and we still do our thing. But yeah, it changes the fact that now we're in a different role, so we have to step up in a different way, and it just everything was on me.
You know, I have seen it all too often where, and I never really understood when I was growing up, whenever I would see a male and a female, and they'd be dating and they'd have this wonderful relationship, everyone would be happy, then the female would be pregnant, And then all of a sudden the relationship fell apart. I never understood that until I had kids.
It changes.
The challenges are real once you have kids.
On many, many levels. It challenges you as a person. It challenges your relationship. It challenges you as a parent. And now you're responsible for another soul. And it changes everything. But everybody has to step up and go with the flow of those changes.
You have to be committed to the process. And that commitment is often challenged, especially with kids. The commitment is always going to be challenging. When you have kids that are active, they're different sports. There's so many commitments that you have to really lock yourself into. And sometimes people are not locked into the process. It's
the first commitment is really being a parent. Parenting is a choice. There's lots of people that have kids. Parenting is a choice. Forget all that other stuff. That's nonsense. A parent has to make sure that their child has clothing, food, and meet their emotional needs. All that other stuff is just fluff. The first thing is your heart. You have to be committed in your heart. You have to check yourself. It's personal.
What do you think? Because it sounds like you're saying that your husband had challenges in making that commitment to being a father.
Yeah.
What do you feel was the biggest challenge for him?
I think the way he views himself and the relationship that he had with his father. His father dismissed him. His father didn't spend much time with him. His father made it seem like he was annoying. His father, all these different things from what he said. And so growing up, he felt like he did not matter. And so when it came to children, once it finally hit him that he's going to have a son or have a child, it was just that feeling of all of that coming back. And then still him being a man and not truly having his father, because even as we get older, we're still parents. Our parenting changes. Our relationship with our parents change. So it's just all of those things because it changes you. Marriage changes you. Children changes you. You don't get handbooks or rule books. You don't get a to-do manual. No. Sometimes you do, but everybody is different. Every situation is different.
So when we were having our first child and my wife gave me a book about being a father, I never read it. My response was, whoever wrote this book doesn't know me. That is some psychologist, something that's writing this book. And then as I've gotten more seasoned at being a parent, I can honestly say I wish I read those books. Because there's something that you can take from everyone, from anything. And whatever resources there are to make you a better parent, you should really breathe them all in.
Absolutely, because as adults, we sit here and everything that we do as adults has a direct correlation with childhood, good or bad, everything. Even if we had a great childhood, we want to make sure we give our child the same childhood. We're going to go on, vacations, do all these different things, the same thing. Or if you had a bad childhood, that'll shape and mold you, whether you want to have a child or not. If you had a bad childhood, you want to make sure that when you do have your child, that you want to give them the better life than what you had.
Yeah.
So it's important. We spend so much time impressing, learning, studying, doing all these other things, and we don't realize that really being a parent is one of the most important roles that we'll ever have, and it's most long-lasting, because here you are as a product of how your parents raised you, good, bad, or indifferent. How you show up in your marriage has a lot to do with the way you were raised. How you father has a lot to do with the way you were raised. The way you love your wife has a lot to do with the way you were raised. And we sit here and we play around with parenting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what led to it. That's what led to it. Just challenges, talks. And I'm not a person that's to be played with.
Okay.
I'm not a person that's to be played with. You can sit here and mess with me and say what you want to say to me, and I'll deal with you adult, one-on-one. But when it comes to children, I've always said I will never stay in a relationship because I have children. I will leave a relationship because I have children.
To protect the children.
I want to show we didn't argue, we didn't fight. We had a loving relationship. But the whole family loving and caring, there was something that was disjointed. The man is supposed to be the head of the household, the woman, the heart of the marriage. My heart was broken. I wanted more. I wanted more for myself. And then when I was turning 40, and I'll be 43 soon, but when I was turning 40, I looked at my life and I said, this is it? Not a this is it with an exclamation mark. It's a this is it with a question mark. I have everything that looks good on paper, everything that everybody wants. A business, husband, 2 children, nice car, all these different things. But I wasn't happy and fulfilled because I was living a life that was for other people. I would wake up and the whole day would be everybody else. The kids, the daycare, my husband, because he worked from home, every little thing, boom, 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 everybody else. If I rolled out of bed and brushed my teeth, threw on something on my hair, that was it for me. I had no more dreams, no more desires, no nothing. I was constantly doing so much.
For others.
For others. So now.
As you say with a smile.
Yes!
Go ahead, girl. Get it now.
This is different. This is a beautiful, beautiful part of my life. I love it. I'm experiencing so many different things. I'm loving myself, loving my sons. Loving my husband from afar.
And is it better? Is it easier to love him from afar?
For me, this works for me because I did everything. The parent, the cleaning, the cooking, I did everything. So for me, it's lovely. And at the same time, I had a home daycare. So I was doing a whole lot. So my sons are 5 and 8. They do their chores. They wash up after themselves. My 8-year-old is learning how to cook. They help me with the laundry. I don't have to do so much. My home stays clean. I don't have to worry about cleaning up after a bigger boy because y'all dudes can be messy. I don't have to worry about cooking major, elaborate meals. I'm a muncher. I will munch on things all day. If it were up to me, I would not cook. I cook for my sons. So it's different for me. I love it. And honestly, I get the best of him. Before it was like, oh, you're obligated. Oh, you're just dealing with things. You're going through the motions. That's how we felt. We felt like Daddy's just going through the motions. Now we know that when Daddy comes over, Daddy wants to be there. There's quality time. We're doing things as a family that we never did before. We never had movie night. Now he comes over and we have movie night. He's never bought his sons birthday gifts, ever. This
Really?
past year, he bought them birthday gifts. He's never bought them Christmas gifts ever. This past Christmas, he bought them the very first Christmas gift.
What's the reason for that? That he's never entertained gifts, or which is I personally think is the easiest way to show love and affection.
Listen, when it boils down to it, when you don't love yourself, how can you show love to others? Let's just really be real. And your children are an extension of yourself.
Wow.
It's a personal thing. I'm not here to rag on him or talk
about
him. We all have our issues, but it is what it is. I have to call a spade a spade.
If you're human, you got an issue. Some has more than others, but everyone has something going on that we either have to address, have addressed, some never have addressed.
Yeah. It's a lot of things, and that's just what it is. But in this past year, since I left, it's been a year. We've had just more connections. He's bonded more with his sons. Yes, he might have been there every day, but just because you're present in the home doesn't mean that the boys have your presence.
He was there but absent.
Yeah, but now they have him.
Now he's absent but present.
Exactly.
Oh, Lord.
Now we can talk and really talk, not just go through the motions of just being roommates or just whatever. We can really talk about things. I can hear him. I'm not looking at him through eyes of resentment or frustration or just disappointment. No, because I no longer have any expectations from him. None. The only thing I expect of him is for him to continue to find himself as a man. And the one thing I do hope is that he continues to bond with his sons. Other than that, I'm good.
I am not mad at you. Well, when we get married, we not only take on a partner, but we take on a whole new family. Mm-hmm. How does his family interact with you and your family interact with him? Do they know this is what's going on?
Yeah, they know what's going on. The families have always been kind of funny because Caribbean people can be kind of funny when they know each other. I just can't put it any other way. There was no...
You have to understand it. You have to know it to be... Yeah.
There's no contention. Nobody did anything to nobody. Just if you look a certain way, if you don't talk a certain way, if they don't approve of a certain thing, it's just all of a sudden, you just looked at. So that's how the families always interacted. They've known each other. That's just how it's been. Now, when it comes to me being with him, his mother wasn't necessarily accepting of that. You know, her words, quote unquote, is, you know, she did not want to lose her son to me.
Yeah,
Just, you know.
a lot of mothers do think
Yeah.
that. Why? I don't know.
It's just, I get it now that I'm a mother, but now
Wait, I got to cut you.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're a mother,
Mm-hmm.
you understand what his mother said?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
I understand that it comes from a place of fear. That I understand. I understand as a mother that you pour into your children and you want them to have a better life. You want them to choose well. You want them to have these good partners. I get that. So I get what she says coming from me, maybe because I'm 10 years older. I was not ideal for her son. I get those things. But no, do I agree with what she said? No. Do I know as a woman, yes, where that came from? That came from fear. And then, of course, with me being with her son for these 15 years, as a woman, I'm seeing things. You know, when you're growing up, you view your parents a certain way. But then as you become older, as you get older, as you become a man or a woman, you recognize things and you see things. And so you no longer look at things a certain way. You see them for what they are because you're a man, you're a woman, and you understand now. So now that I'm a mother, now that I'm a wife and I've been seasoned, I see lots of things, and a lot of it just comes from fear. But I get it.
And do you ever think that you might have, or knowing that, would you stay very far away from having that same mindset, being the mother of sons?
Watching my mother-in-law, watching my mother, the way she deals with my brother, watching people in general, I do have a certain way that I will handle my sons and when it comes to their relationships and the role that I play in their relationships. Absolutely.
So you're learning from...
I learn from everybody and everything all the time. We're always learning. We can learn things from firsthand experience, but then we can learn from everybody and everything around us. So absolutely. So when it comes to my sons, yes. When I'm raising my sons, yes. They know how to cook, they know how to wash, they know how to clean. My son will never be a burden on anybody, any man, woman, whomever they decide to be with. It will never be a burden. They need to be self-sufficient. That looks good. That's attractive to a woman. Should they decide to get married. That looks good. I want my sons, I don't have a problem with my sons being mama's boys. I love mama's boys, but there's a certain type of mama's boy. I like a mama's boy that respects his mother, that is honorable to his mother, that is gentle and tender with her, that I know that's going to be gentle and tender with his woman or with me or just whatever. If he can speak to his mom, be a man and speak to his mom, even if it's something that she doesn't agree with, but she sees him as a man, that's the type of mother's boy that I want to raise for my sons. But at the same time, if they're coming to me, gravitating towards me, I'll give them whatever I need to give them, but I'm going to push them away. Because if you're with somebody, you go on over there. I'm going to know my role. I'm going to know my role. And then even if it's someone that in my mind I can't stand, or it's in my mind I feel that my child should not be with, I really have to look at myself then as a mother and think about the things that I've taught my child, and I would hope and pray that whatever my child sees in that person, it has to be something good. And I'm going to be around. That doesn't mean I'm going to be all up in their stuff, but I'm going to be there. I think so many people do themselves a disservice trying to break people up or trying to interject or trying to pull apart instead of just being in the mix and see for yourself what the deal is.
I have come to the understanding that often sons will find themselves with someone that's similar to their mother. As much as my wife probably would not admit it, she is very similar to my mother. She has an entrepreneurial mindset, very caring. My wife is a phenomenal woman. My mother is God sent. And thank God they get along pretty good. But if they didn't, I don't know how I could handle such a thing. Because I love my wife, love my mother. I love when we're all together. For that friction, I just don't understand how people go through those friction moments. And
it's not easy, because I know that I've dealt with it. I am definitely like my mother-in-law because we had a very close relationship. We did a lot of things together prior to me and her son really committing ourselves in a relationship. So I'm like her. But But that doesn't mean that I like the fact that I'm like her. That doesn't mean the fact that I like everything about her, just like my mom. I'm like my mom in a lot of ways, but the unsavory characteristics, there's some things that I see in my mother-in-law that I see in myself. I don't like that. And so for me, I recognize, okay, that's something that I check myself on, but I'm definitely like her. And yes, it does not help. And unfortunately, when you're in a situation like that, whoever the child is, the person is, whoever's parent that is, it's their job to regulate that.
You know, it sounds really like you are in just a good space.
I'm in a great space. I'm in a great space. I'm not unhappy. I'm not angry. I'm in a great space. Like this is the time for me to really truly not even find myself, just to be myself. You know, sometimes we don't know who we are. I've always known who I was. I was always afraid to be myself just because of the way I was conditioned, the way I was raised, just certain things. Now I don't care anymore. I'm myself. I'm who I am. I love it. I'm challenging myself. I'm learning different things. I'm doing different things on a daily. I'm experiencing things. I'm no longer holding myself back because of what other people want to do or don't want to do. No.
You're 100% living your best, enjoying your best, and sharing what you want to share with others.
Yes.
And how you want to share it.
Yeah. So yes.
And while being a strong mother.
Yes. I'm all of that, but honestly, I'm at a point where I'm just enjoying being a woman and really resting in my femininity. And really exploring that instead of always being the one in charge and doing all these different things and always operating in that masculine energy mode. I'm at a point where I'm just really learning how to be soft and dainty and just be a woman and not be afraid to show my sensuality or my sexuality or just be free and not be concerned about who's watching me or how they might feel because of the way I'm moving myself. And you know, I'm just enjoying being. I think often as women, we're taught that we have to be all these different things. We have to be strong. We have to be independent. We have to do all these different things and make sure that when the man comes, it's like we have to have like 20 things on this list to make it seem like we're just so good and we're just all these different things to show, to put on display how good we are. No, I know how good I am. If you're ever worthy enough to really tap into that, you'll find out. But I'm at a point where I recognize and I realize that a woman, all she has to do is just be. And I'm learning just to be myself and to operate in just being, not what I need to be for you or do this, just being and understanding that I am the prize. I'm the prize the way that I am.
You are going to make me go and get my wife another engagement ring.
Well, do that and go and read that book. Go read the book so you can get prepared for the grandkids later on.
Oh my.
No, but I've learned many things. And the way that I'm speaking now, was I speaking this way a year ago? No. Was I speaking this way 5 years ago? No. There's a lot of women that have been in my situation or are in my situation that could be very, very bitter and nasty. I choose not to, because for what?
You're making the best of the journey.
I'm making the best of the journey, and quite honestly, this part of the journey, even though sometimes things aren't planned, sometimes the unexpected parts are the better parts of the journey.
Love, I must say, on that note, I'm going to thank you for talking sweet with SweetBaby Jay, because it's all about the journey. The moment that you think you have it all planned out, God will throw you a nice curveball.
Yes.
And you got to still swing.
Absolutely.
You swinging.
Absolutely.
And you are swinging for the fences. Gosh damn it, girl, you're looking beautiful. Thank you for hitting home runs in life. Thank you for connecting with SweetBaby Jay. Thank you for listening to Talkin Sweet. I really appreciate you reaching out. It was an absolute opportunity here talking to you about just being a black mother, a black wife, a woman, a wife, a daughter, a mother. You have all these roles, and you have found that way to finesse them all.
Yes.
I appreciate you for being the best you that you can be, for guiding your children, for supporting your husband as he tries to just be the best him he can be.
Yes, absolutely.
Young lady, thank you for talking sweet with SweetBaby Jay. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Ow, we out.
That's about it.